meetings with more than 30 universities that are taking part to the program. Just this year, we will offer 60 full scholarship to attend our courses, and many other positions that will be without scholarship. So it's a large network, and I think this network could be also involved in our project. I'm referring to the PhD students, of course, but also to the professors of the other universities that somehow could be our test ground, test bed. The University of Foggia is also running as a lead partner one of the MOOC platform in Italy, actually the largest one at the moment, with around again something like 30 universities and institutions participating to the platform. It's called EduOpen, and it's now growing very rapidly. We are now participating to a call from the Ministry of Education in order to scale up our platform. And if everything goes well, I mean, the call is for a large project of something like 60 million euros. So the platform will be the national reference point for MOOCs. And that's, again, is an extremely important element in the project, because the MOOC we are trying to propose will be part of the general offer of our MOOC, national MOOC platform. And as far as concerned the other university, I can say a few words about them, but of course it's we have time during the morning for them to present themselves. I know a little about Oulu University. We know a lot about the work of Sanna Järvelä and their collaborators, and we're very happy that they are together with us in this project, and they will be essential, of course, in modeling the content around SRL and SSRL. As far as concerns Cyprus University of Technology, they will offer an important contribution in the participatory design methods, in the co-creation of the MOOCs, and in the usability evaluation and trial supervision. Then we have, as I mentioned, other partners that are the industries, but I already mentioned that they will offer a contribution important to the development of the serious game. And then finally, we have IADTU. I'm especially grateful to IADTU to be part of this project, because, as I mentioned, the difference will be made in our ability to disseminate what we are trying to propose here. And we are very strong in terms of dissemination, as I mentioned, in Italy, of course. But if we want to reach an international public, or at least a European public, I think the contribution of IADTU will be essential, because, of course, they can promote our work to their network, to their representatives, and also in terms of relation at in Brussels at the European Commission. So basically, that's the project. We have not a lot of time. We have few years. We have to complete the project by the end of 2024. We are already few months. We have already a few months of delay because of the paperwork, the starting, the many issues. But we could, of course, ask for an extension of the project, but we will decide that by the way. I actually hope we will not ask for an extension, and we will try to condense the project in the months we have. Also because we have, as anyone, I guess, many other projects. So we already fixed an amount of hours for this project in these 2 years. So opening up the chance to extend it in few months in 2025 will generate few complexity in our scheduling, but of course, the quality of what we do as the priority. So we will decide that along the way, and we will decide together. So I hope that we'll do a nice job together. I hope to meet you soon. In the first meeting, I guess, will be in September, but we will decide that. I hope we will have the chance to meet you in Foggia and all the other places involved in the project. And please feel free to contribute to the governance of this project in the way you feel necessary, because the common goal is to produce the best possible outcomes in the smoothest way. So I hope we can find the right way to collaborate. I'm sure we will. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pierpaolo. Thanks for the really clear overview of the project, which I think we all found very, very useful, and for your empowering words, and also for pointing out a few things that we might use for today as points of discussion, like the timeline of the project and the actions that we might take in order for delivering the project in time and with the best possible outcome. I know that now Professor Giussi Toto would like to spend a few words, so I'll hand over to her, and then we'll move on to let each partner introduce themselves. So thank you, Giussi.
Good morning, everyone. I am Giussi Toto, a researcher at the University of Foggia, and I present to you our research laboratory. Welcome to the Learning Science Hub of University of Foggia. Just a second. I can't share. Just a moment, we have a little problem with presentation. Okay. I can't. Gertrude, puoi venire qui, ci scambiamo, vedi se riesci a condividerlo tu. Dove sta? È questo?
Sì. Salvo, you're on mute. If you
Un attimo.
Sorry, just in mind that Giussi sorts out her slides. So I believe that she might be using some slides today to introduce the lab at the University of Foggia. May I just remind all the partners that during your own presentations, you are more than welcome to use slides if you have prepared some, or if you have any other visual aids, let us know. I think that you are already allowed to share the screen. There should be no problem with that. But in the meantime, if you want to send the slides to me or to Pier Giorgio, you're more than welcome.
Sorry, just a second.
I could see a bit of a PDF file. So we are getting there. If you are having problems with the file, perhaps you can send it to me and I can try to share the screen.
Maybe we can move on to another presentation and then come back to Giussi when she is ready. So we
can try that as well. Yes. So you take the time to sort out that, and in the meantime, we'll move on to another presentation, which the first one should actually be the university.
I'm sorry, Salvo. I think I solved the problem. Do you
Do you want
see
to
this? Do you
try?
see the presentation?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, with
yeah.
Now, yes,
Okay, thank you. Sorry for the inconvenience.
that's fine.
yes,
We can
yes.
see the screen.
Welcome to the European Science Hub of the University of Foggia.
Vai, adesso.
Welcome to the European Science Hub of the University of Foggia. The lab
Sorry, could everyone just
based in innovative methodologies and technologies for education are the major interests of our research team, involving students, teachers, and scholars all around the world. The aim is to discover the new ways forward in education and training, drawing on the knowledge from neuroscience, pedagogy, and social sciences. Our mission is to carry out projects and studies in the field of all levels of education, looking at the cutting-edge educational model that can make teaching and learning processes more effective, engaging, and inclusive. Learning Science Hub is a place of innovative tools, teamwork, debate, and implementation of soft skills, where experts with different backgrounds gather to achieve scientific objectives and produce new ideas and theories. Its activity is inspired by the innovation needs of contemporary didactics and
Thank you very much, Juicy. It was very interesting to learn about the Learning Hub at the University of Foggia and all the things that it's offering. I was thinking whilst I was looking at your slides, being in a hyper-contextualized and globalized world where we're all trying as universities to share as much knowledge as possible, it's really nice to see that there is this attempt from the University of Foggia to make knowledge accessible to everybody. And that makes me think that also the other partners that we have here, particularly the higher education partners, they might want to share their own initiatives and possibly the things that the labs are doing in order to promote pedagogy at the higher education level. So that gives me the opportunity to move on to, let's say, the second part of this morning session, which is as I introduced before, the chance for each partner to introduce themselves, to talk about the things that you're doing, and particularly your involvement within the tuned partnership, and what kind of tasks in particular you will be working on, and what kind of contribution you will be bringing to this partnership. So I had communication this morning from Alessandro De Bono that unfortunately he won't be able to be with us today in the morning to present C2, the company C2. So that means that he will try to send us a video. So if we receive it in time, I will broadcast it to you so we can all see the introduction to the company. But otherwise, we have two options. We can either finish earlier and have a longer lunch break, or we could dedicate a little bit more time to each presentation. So you have pretty much a slot of 15 minutes each. So don't worry if you go over a little bit, like you can take a few more minutes for your presentation. So that will cover the time that was initially allocated to C2. So the first university that will introduce itself today is the University of Foggia. And who will be introducing the university? Will it be Raffaele?
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
I will hand over to Raffaele Di Fuccio. Thank you, Raffaele.
Thank you, Salvo. Thank you for the presentation. Probably some of you are a little bit confusing me, seeing me as a University of Foggia, because during the drafting I was in charge for Smarted, but I collaborated to the drafting of the proposal. I am the former CEO of Smarted, and now I changed my role. I'm a researcher at the University of Foggia, Special Pedagogy and Technology Enhanced Learning. So I will be partner of the team of Paolo Limone and Giusy Toto, and our university was described before me and better than I could do. But I want to underline which are the roles of the University of Foggia that will be in charge of the management. We will cover the management in partnership with Salvo and Sica, that are in a certain sense in our big group, and will collaborate with us in the management, because we think that it's very important to have a project with a very good impact, to have a narrowed project management to take the goal. I'm very pleased to be in this partnership, because when I collaborated to the drafting, I had the feeling to be in a very in a partnership that has a scientific relevance. I can do together something very, very impactful. I'm pretty sure of this idea. The University of Foggia will support all the project results. However, we'll have the leadership of the MOOC, as Pierpaolo told during his presentation, because our connection with EduOpen. However, we will cover the leadership of other tasks, and particularly at the beginning of the project, we will cover the task 1.2, that is definition of cooperative learning strategies for open, blended, and distance courses inside the project result 1, that is led by University of Oulu. University of Foggia will support, will give scientific relevance to the definition, the design, and the implementation of the serious game, and will support the embedding of the serious game inside the MOOC, because in this project we have this particularly, and I think very powerful, very attractive, and very useful, and we have to demonstrate also with numbers for this specific topic that this is an effective way to learn and to guide our students in a broad sense, from the teacher trainers to the real student. And University of Foggia will support the embedding of serious game, will lead the task 3.3 about the embedding of serious game in MOOC, starting from ERG methodologies. Then the role of University of Foggia will be transversal, that we will host the meeting in Foggia, and sorry for this minimum moment, but I'm pretty sure that the physical meetings are very important. Now we are in a particular moment with the pandemic that is ongoing, but I think that if the situation is pretty calm, it's very important to sit all together to create a sense of partnership. Important, and I think that the kickoff meeting that Pierpaolo and Giusy told today is very important in September. And finally, we will organize the first multiplier event in Italy about the co-creation event for innovative teaching methodology, and we will organize it in Italy. Probably will be the first attempt, the first event, and will be the model for the other one in the other countries. However, our university will be, as I told, transversal to the project. I hope to bring my little experience in project management and in the project, because I was in charge of the first company. So I hope to
Raphael, I think you're breaking up. Is it just me or?
Yeah, no, he's breaking up.
Okay. Thank you very much, Raffaele. I had some really good conversations with Raffaele at the beginning of the project when I was involved in the first stage. I know that you've been involved both in the drafting of the project, and am I right to say that you are also involved with the Smarter company? I see. Oh, that's good to know. Thank you very much, Raffaele. So now we have our Finnish partner from the University of Oulu. Am I pronouncing it right? I wouldn't want to make any mistake in terms of pronunciation. We have Essi here, right? Hello, Essi. We have Sana, and we have Azusa. Hi, am I forgetting anyone? Right, okay. So
that's correct.
thank you. So can I ask you to first introduce yourself individually? Tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and your involvement with the Tuned project. And then I suppose there's going to be one of you leading the presentation, so you can hand over to that person. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Perhaps I will start. I'm Sanna Järvelä, professor in learning sciences and educational technology, and leading our research unit, LET, Learning and Educational Technology Research Unit. I know some of you very well, like Eleni. We've been working hard at the European Association for Learning and Instruction, and actually Eleni even harder now, being the president, and I also know Pier Paolo and his team in distance, not face to face yet. So that's a nice opportunity to get to know more about you. In our team at Oulu, we have been working a long time with self-regulated learning and collaborative learning, but since regulation as such has been an individual phenomena, so we have also started to work and broaden the concept and in empirically and theoretically sense, and now during the recent years especially have been working with the concept of socially shared regulation, and always with different kind of technologies, how we can use technology to understand the phenomena, but also use technology to support socially shared regulation. But may I now turn to Essi? We have done a little bit division of labor in our team so that we have the best fit and experience in this project. So we have Dr. Essi Vuopala in this team, because Essi has a very strong experience working in this kind of Erasmus Plus project, but also she's very intensively working with teachers and teacher education, and also the topic of our task. And also we have a PhD student, Azusa, who will introduce herself, but she's exactly working also in this topic, so she's a very good fit in our team. We also have Associate Professor Hanna Järvenoja, who is supporting our work. She's not able to participate, and actually we have a strong team, about 20 people, so anytime we need some expertise or help, that's available. But I would like to invite Essi now.
Okay, thank you, Sanna. And first of all, really nice to start collaborating with you. I haven't actually met any of you in person, so I'm really looking forward to also this new collaboration possibilities. So it's a pleasure to join to this interesting project. I'm working in LET unit as a university lecturer, and so my work is basically teaching and research, as is it normal at the university? I'm a responsible person for our international master's degree program, learning, education, and technology. And also I'm teaching in teacher education, like Sanna mentioned. And in addition, I'm also have been working a long time and also currently working with Erasmus Plus project. So this funding tool is very familiar to me. And also I have been working in different projects during these actually more than 20 years at the university. My research is related to collaborative learning in various learning contexts, like in higher education, primary education, maker education context, and I have been doing research from the perspective of social interaction in collaboration and from a scripting perspective, and also I have been interested in teachers' possibilities to facilitate technology-enhanced learning and collaboration. But before I share the presentation, we decided that I will be the one presenting. I would like you, Asusa, to introduce yourself, since Asusa is the person who will be hired as a full-time project coordinator to this project, and my role is how would I say, together with Sanna and Hanna, be the kind of assisting project coordinator in this. So we are working with Asusa, but Asusa is the main person who is working from our behalf in this project. So Asusa, maybe you could now say a few words about yourself. Asusa, are you still online?
Yes, sorry. My mic was muted. I'm not used to this Google Meet environment. I'm sorry. Can you hear my voice? Yes. Thank you, Eshi and Sanna, giving me a baton. So
Yeah.
I am Azusa Nakata from University of Oulu, but I'm originally from Japan. So I actually started learning in LET International Master's Degree Program in 2018. So I have studied the theoretical part of regulated learning and collaborative learning from Eshi and Sanna and other teachers. Then after I graduated, I started working in the research unit as a project coordinator. So currently I'm working for another Erasmus funded project, which is concerned about open science and citizen science. But now I'm going to move on to this new project. So then I'm also at the same time doing my PhD study in the same research unit, and my study research interest is collaborative learning, and especially from social interaction perspectives. And also I'm doing some research with Eshi on online collaborative learning. So this project is very much in line with what I am interested in. So I'm excited to be a part of this project. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. So this is the Oulu team working in this project, and plus Hanna will also join, Hanna Järvenoja, later on. And now maybe I can start. We prepared a short presentation in which we kind of give a general overview of what our research unit is doing and what is our contribution also to this tuned project. And now I have to confess that I really rarely use this Google Meet, so let's see how it goes. Wait a second, now you should. This takes a bit.
Yes, we see your screen.
Yes, but you don't see yet the PowerPoint.
No. But we see your full wall screen. So.
Yes, but now it's a bit weird because now my...
If you open your PowerPoint, we should be able to see it.
Yeah. Here. Can you now see it?
Yeah.
Great. I can't now see you, but I trust that you are still there. Okay. And if you have any questions meanwhile the presentation, feel free to ask. And Sanna and Asusa also add if I forget to say something or mention something important. So we all come from Learning and Educational Technology Research Unit from the University of Oulu. And really shortly, some facts concerning our university. So we are located in northern part of Finland. So geographically, we are basically in the middle of Finland. And we are quite old university in Finnish scale. We have our university has been established 1958, and nowadays we have 14,000 students approximately, 10 faculties, which basically almost all of them except the Faculty of Medicine are located under the same roof. And we have at the university 45 different degree programs. And our research unit is located in the Faculty of Education. And like Sanna already introduced, Sanna is the leader and director for our research unit. And in addition to that, we have altogether almost 30 people working with us in teaching position, researcher position, or in different development projects. But of course, no matter if we are teaching or doing our work in the projects, we all are doing also research from our research focus areas in self-regulated learning, collaborative learning, and technology enhanced learning. So these are our theoretical focus areas. In general, if our research unit how we position ourselves in the bigger picture. So this is our university profiling areas. And LET, our research unit's contribution is especially in this co-evolution of humans and new technologies profile area. So we, together with other faculties and research groups at the university, are focusing on understanding humans in change. And this change is understood quite broadly. Of course, technologies plays a huge role in that change and this constantly changing environment in which we are living. But we bring our theoretical expertise in the multidisciplinary collaboration to understand humans in change now and in future. And this is our research unit's kind of a bit more like general level aim and vision, that we contribute to the theory-based and develop theory-based solutions for better and deeper individual and collaborative learning. And since we are a research unit, but we also run this master's degree program, which is based on our theoretical and empirical research, our main aim is also to transform this theory to practice, to enable different age learners to develop their skills to learn, to work, and to live. So the research that we are doing increases human learning competencies for current and upcoming societal needs. So we are enhancing our students and pupils' skills for learning and collaboration and teamwork. And also in practice, our research helps teachers in various educational levels to understand how actually pupils are learning and acquiring new knowledge, and how we can support and the understanding of new phenomena and learning contents. Also, we are producing and designing collaborative learning models and methods for different kinds of teaching and learning situations in which technology plays some role. It can be kind of media for learning, it can provide a context for learning, it can provide support for your understanding, and so on. But we are interested in how technology can be applied and developed further to improve human learning and behavior. And here is basically summarized the same thing. So we currently, and have been doing it already a long time, we developed theoretical understanding of socially shared regulation in collaborative learning situations. And we also study that when, how, and what makes regulation in collaborative learning functional. And we implement our understanding of regulation to utilize advanced learning technologies to support learning. And also, this is now the main contribution and the theoretical baseline which we bring to this tuned project. Of course, we value our research from societal perspective also. So in the bigger scale, our research is addressing the global challenges. For example, digitalization and intelligent technology development. Some examples, artificial intelligence, the possibilities of robotics, and for need for renewing personal and social learning competencies. And of course, the one current global challenge is also this ongoing education and ongoing learning, and our theoretical understanding of learning and regulation can have a great effect to also develop practices and models for ongoing learning. We have been offering research-based master's degree program already 15 years, and we have an international learning, education and technology master's degree program which educates experts in the field of learning and educational technology. And this is something that we have really used effort in developing, and this is quite a unique in Finnish scale but also internationally, that we have a really heavy theoretical baseline in our LET program, and that's what we are proud and famous for. So we have annual intake for our LET master's degree program. We take 20 students yearly, and the scientific ground is in learning sciences. And like in line with our research focus areas, also the same, they are the same in our master's degree program, namely self-regulated learning and socially shared regulation of learning, collaborative learning and computer-supported collaborative learning, and also technology-enhanced learning in more general. And in addition to these content focus areas, of course, we also enhance our students' research skills. So we have this mixed method approach, and we also want to train our teachers to our students to be qualified researchers in the future. And the third kind of focus area is this working life competence. We do a lot of working life collaboration with national and local companies and entrepreneurs and other educational institutions and research groups. So we really want to also focus in the development of this working life connections between working life and university studies. Then we have many development projects in which we apply our theoretical understanding, but also it's a good way to kind of test our research results and our research-based pedagogical models. So all the time we are having many project funded, for example, by Ministry of Education or these Erasmus funding tools. So this is there is our address to our webpage if you are interested reading more about our projects and master's degree program and our research and publications. So please visit there and follow us in Twitter also. Yes, so that was what we prepared. If I missed something, Asus and Sanna, feel free to add.
Thank you very much, Hesi, Sanna, and Azusa. It's also very nice to hear from you for the first time and to meet you all and to hear all the beautiful things that you're doing at the University of Oulu. Can I remind the whole group that at the end of each presentation, you are more than welcome to ask some questions to our partners to get them know them a little bit better and to make some comments. So if you want to use the chat to let us Saika know that you want to ask some questions, you're more than welcome to do that. And I don't want to put anyone under the spotlight now because I said that. So in the meantime, I do have a question for our Finnish partners. So I'll ask my question first, and that will give the other members of the group the chance to reflect on whether they want to ask a question as well. One of the things that I got immediately interested in when I was involved in this project is the self-regulation learning. And I must confess, it's something that I didn't know before. And when they told me about this, I thought, well, this is a good reason to join the TUNE partnership. So I was wondering if you could just share with all the partners a little bit about what kind of innovative things you're doing at the University of Oulu in terms of self-regulation learning. And I know I don't want to jump the gun. I know that you will have the afternoon to talk about specifically how you will work on the theoretical framework, but if you can just give us a little bit about what kind of things you want to bring to the TUNE partnership with the self-regulation learning?
If you want, I can jump in. There are so many opportunities because we've been working quite a long time, but there are kind of different levels which we can implement. First of all, is kind of really make interventions and help teacher students especially and teachers to know more about what it is to self-regulate your learning, because that's very important to develop your skills and motivational basis and strategies to be better learner. But our area is especially trying to find ways to bring different technologies and tools and also design such kind of models of learning that students have opportunities to train these self-regulated learning processes. So we have been, for example, developing simple tools and technologies and apps and also scripted complete lesson structures in order to activate self-regulated learning, especially in groups. Recently, because of all this, what educational technology means is really kind of making an evolution. We are now working more and more with data and AI. And recently we launched a global research center, which is called CELA, which is Center for Learning and Living with AI, with 5 different labs who are also working with data, AI, and self-regulated learning. So this is the kind of the future that once in digital, once the digitalization is like everywhere, and we have so many different kind of educational and learning data available. So this is the next step that we have to learn whether we can use this data to help learners to understand about their regulation processes and perhaps then develop some adaptive support. But I think this is their story shortly.
Thank you very much, Sanna. That was very, very helpful. And it's very interesting, everything that you're doing. And I think it would be a massive contribution to this project, your knowledge and skills in self-regulation learning. So thank you very much for your presentation and for your contribution today. We do have now our next partner, which is the University of Cyprus, and we should have Eleni here.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hi, Eleni. Yes.
Hi.
So I'll hand over to you, and if you want to introduce yourself and your organization and the other people involved from your organization into the Tune partnership. Thank you.
Thank you, Salvo. It's great to be here. It's really nice to meet you all. I think I only know Sana from our prior collaboration, but I'm really happy to meet everybody here and to hear of your work as well. So with this presentation, I wanted to just give you an overview of what we do at the Cyprus University of Technology. I'm alone today here at this meeting, but other collaborators will join in the next weeks, I guess, and months. They weren't able to participate today. Let me see if I can share my presentation. I had to move it to Google Drive to be able to do so. I'm not sure whether I can share the PowerPoint itself, so I'm just gonna try to. Let me see if you can see this. Sorry. I just have to grant, I guess.
Today we are experiencing the problem
Some
that are typical in this new era, in this new more in distance learning and teaching, and it's very common to experience this problem.
Am I biased if I say that's one of the reasons why I don't like Google Meets?
Yeah, I understand your point. However, as Professor Limone said, we have the license also for Zoom, so we can move in the future.
Today we might have the chance to talk about towards the end of this meeting other options we might use in the future to have the next meetings. Eleni is back with us.
Yeah, I'm back here. I'm sorry, I had to give Google the rights, I guess, to be able to access my presentation. So I quit the browser and I'm back here. I'm sorry about that. I don't usually use Google Meets. Yes, you have figured out already. So let me see if I can share this. You should be able to see my screen now.
Yes,
okay. And I'll start the slideshow. And I don't see you anymore, but I hope that you can see the screen. If you don't see something, just let me know. Okay. So let me just say a few things about myself first. Let me just make sure that, okay, yeah, I can progress this. So my name is Eleni Kiza, or I go by Eleni or Elena. You can call me whichever of the two. I respond to both. I'm an associate professor in Information Society in the Department of Communication and Internet Studies at the Cyprus University of Technology. My background is in the learning sciences and educational technology. And I do research in this field, trying to understand how technology can support, especially reflective inquiry and collaborative learning at different levels. I haven't worked as much in higher education in terms of how to support that level of learning, but I have, of course, experience it myself, and together with my university, we're very much interested in seeing how we can move forward in terms of pedagogy, but also with technology. So I think that this project is really at the right timing for us as well. So as I said, I'm from the Cyprus University of Technology. I'm not sure whether you have had the opportunity to visit Cyprus at all, but I'm sure you all know that it's an island on the eastern corner of the Mediterranean Sea. We're located in Limassol, which is a coastal city in Cyprus, and here you see some of the images from my university. So this is on the right-hand side, it's Limassol. The Cyprus University of Technology is a small university. It's really newly established. It's one of 3 state universities in Cyprus, the other 2 being the University of Cyprus, which is the older in Cyprus, and the Open University of Cyprus. We have a population, we teach primarily, at least at the undergrad level, in Greek, and we have a population of under 5,000 students at the moment. So it's quite a small but wishing to expand university. And these are some photos from the city of Limassol. So we have a group that's called the Media Cognition and Learning Research Group at the Cyprus University of Technology in the Department of Communication and Media. And I lead this group. And we have several people working in this group. It's a smaller group, I would say, but we have people with different interests and different expertise, all working within the topic of the learning sciences and educational technology. We have a new PhD student starting who will be devoting her time on this project, but other people will also support this project. And you see some of the names of the people here. And I will explain a little bit about the research themes that we have been exploring in the last decade or so, and also our broader interests and contributions. So as I said, we're very much interested in how we can incorporate digital technologies in learning and instruction, and also what the impact of these technologies are on cognition and how we can best learn. And we have been looking at these ideas, these themes, I guess, through the use of different innovative technologies. So we have been looking at the impact of augmented reality technologies and mixed reality technologies, or extended reality, as we call it these days, looking at how the Internet of Things has been impacting learning, how wearable technologies can be incorporated, and I will give some examples in the next slides to explain how we're looking at these technologies. Of course, the focus is not on the technology itself, but it's how technology can mediate learning and instruction, and what can we learn about how people learn through these investigations. So these are some of the topics, the broader topics that we have investigated in the past and we continue to look at. So as I said, augmented reality technologies for learning. If I go to co-design, participatory design as a method for us to develop more authentic environments for learning, and also so that we can truly see what the impact of these new technologies have on real world settings. So we have been doing research in actual classrooms, in actual settings, in outside settings as well. So we're trying to understand where learning happens and try to see what kind of scaffolding we need or could be there to support learning as it happens. And other areas of research that we have conducted in the past is computational thinking, CSCL, learning in cultural settings, scientific literacy, media literacy, etc. And we have been looking at this both from the perspective of what happens with the students, but also from the perspective of the teachers as well, and what the teachers would need to be able to engage in such learning environments and use technology to support their learning and teaching. So in that respect, I think that this is a very good fit with what the TUNED project is trying to do. So we have also been engaged in developing tools, primarily prototypes, but prototypes that can actually be used to in authentic classroom settings, and can also be used to support our research goals. So you see some of the examples of tools that we have designed in the past. Stochasmos, which was a web-based learning and teaching platform that was highly, following inquiry-based learning. We have Trace Readers, which is an augmented reality platform, Compare, which is a mixed reality platform that supports historical reasoning and learning about cultural identity in informal settings. And then another example of a plugin that we helped co-create was about CoinForm, the CoinForm browser plugin that helps people assess the information, the credibility of information on social media posts. And that's another line of research that we have been doing in the last years, looking at misinformation, information evaluation on the web, how we can support people's reasoning processes as they deal with conflicting and complicated information online. And on the bottom, I don't have a slide about that, but you see different projects that we have been engaged in the last years, which were all supported, mostly supported by the European Commission as well. So when we design learning environments and we engage in the investigation of these learning environments, we're interested both in understanding how we can design and optimize our designs. We're interested in understanding new contexts for learning, especially using innovative technologies and new technologies like augmented reality or virtual reality technologies. And as I said before, we're interested in different topics that relate to student learning. How do students learn? And I think in this aspect, and also about teacher learning, I think we will find we see the same themes beginning from primary to secondary to higher education. Also, we're interested in, say, professional development, how we can collaboratively design more authentic spaces for learning. How do we gain more ownership of these environments and of the learning that goes with it? How can we adapt or scaffold learning in this context? And of course, how can we empower both teachers and learners to become more independent, more reflective, more self-regulated in what they do? So we do this within the context of design-based research as well. So design-based research looks at how we can design pilots, develop more iterations that are based on empirical data that we collect from these designs in order to improve the learning environments that we design and also be able to more accurately answer our research questions. So design-based research is really much at the center of what we do and how we approach our research. So we also do a lot of participatory design work for at least 10 years now. We have worked with different groups of teachers, beginning from smaller groups and then expanding that to larger groups of teachers in different disciplines, trying to understand how we can co-design and use their own expertise in designing more authentic environments to support learning. And so we've done a lot of work there that I think that I hope that it will transfer to what we are doing with the TUNE project. In addition to teachers, we have also been working with other stakeholders like policymakers and journalists and lay people in trying to develop like the co-inform browser plugin that I mentioned before. So how can we design solutions to problems, to societal problems in this respect in terms of the spread of misinformation in order to make these tools more usable and more appropriate for adaptation, I guess, by all different kinds of people. So in this context, what our group is interested in is designing for consequential learning. So we want to design things that are applicable and meaningful to everybody, whether it's the learners, the teachers, and can be used to expand our competencies and our understanding of how learning works. And we're very much interested about this potential for positive impact in the things that we do. So I just borrow a term by Hall and Juro about consequential learning, that it's something that is relevant, is developed through interactions and across settings and trying to understand how people appropriate these terms, and it seeks to have an impact on today's world as well. And I hope that this will also transfer to what we do with the TUNE project. So some examples of what we have been doing in the last few years, I guess. In the last maybe 4 years, we have been looking at challenges that are contemporary, that are societal, but we also see that these challenges are not traditionally addressed in curricula today. So we have been looking at active citizenship and personal data literacy, at how, what does it mean to be immersed in learning in informal context and how technologies can support this, and also misinformation, information evaluation, and how can we empower people in general, but more specifically targeting different populations within the larger public in dealing with information on social media and information evaluation. And we have a lot of collaborations with schools in particular also. Sometimes we go to classrooms, to schools. Sometimes we bring kids and older students also at the university and have different types of summer programs, for example, around learning environments that we design that can be used by them, but also incorporate technology and also help us understand the different research themes that I presented before. So you see some examples of collaborations that we've done in the past and in different settings here. And you can find out more on our website as well. And here are some other examples of work that we have done. For example, historical settings with augmented reality technologies. Here's a screenshot of the Stochastic Models web-based platform that we designed quite a few years ago, but have influenced our thinking on how to approach co-design, how to approach teachers, how to support students, etc. And you can see some of the publications that came out of these projects. Here's the Trace Reader's augmented reality application, and some of the publications that came out of this approach. And here's some information about one of our most recent works, I guess, about what it means to be literate in terms of the data that we produce and the data that we share with other people. We started this approach looking at younger students, but I find through my courses as well, I teach an information society course to undergrad students, that this is pretty much very pertinent and relevant to older students as well. I'm not going to go into the details of the studies, but I can explain more now or later about the work that we have been doing. That's also connected to different European projects that deal with how can we become more responsible, how we can become more literate, and also more competent in using digital technologies to understand the new reality of the world in which we live in now. So another line of research in immersive learning in a formal context as well. I'll just go through this much more quickly. And the last line of research that we have been working on misinformation on social media, that was connected to a European project that's called Co-Inform, in which we co-designed a browser plugin to support lay people's engagement with information, but also policymakers and journalists' engagement. And actually, this project led to a few follow-up projects. Some of them were grassroots projects that tried to help other organizations in Cyprus, other groups in Cyprus, to engage in co-creation activities with younger and older students, to engage them in this idea of how can we tackle misinformation as a societal issue. And we have been recently doing another series of workshops that relates to how can we empower professionals in dealing with misinformation on social media. And the last thing that I wanted to touch on and maybe get your ideas about as well later is that the Cyprus University of Technology is part of a partnership, I guess, that has been funded by the European Commission. That's called the European University of Technology. And I understand that there are several such initiatives going on in Europe at this point, where different universities come together to find ways to see how they can unify some of their programs and also have a larger appeal in what they do. And I think within this partnership, we're also interested in pedagogical improvement. And I was thinking that I'm not centrally involved with EUT, but I was thinking that perhaps EUT is an initiative that is supported by our university and also has dissemination capacity through other universities in Europe, could connect to what we are doing with the TUNE project and find ways to disseminate and increase the impact that the TUNE MOOCs, for example, in the gamified environment might offer. So I would like to conclude with this and get your ideas also on whether it's okay to kind of reach out and see whether we can connect our efforts, I guess, in that respect, by connecting what something like the EUT is doing with what the TUNE project is wishing to do. So I'll stop here and see if you have any questions or any comments. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eleni. That was a very, very interesting presentation, and I'm so happy that I've learned something more about the Cyprus University of Technology and all the fantastic things that you're doing, which I could see that they are also connected to what I heard from our Finnish partners, like the use of new technologies in higher education and pedagogy. So it really shows us that we are all working in a way in the same direction. Very interesting topics as well, like the combating against misinformation on social media. That I think that's very topical and very much needed today. Can I remind all the partners here that again, if you want to ask Eleni any question, you can just let Saika know in the chat, and Saika will give you the opportunity to ask her. In the meantime, I do have a question for you, because I know that the one of the strong expertises that you have at the Cyprus University of Technology is that about co-design and co-production, and that was one of the topics that you touched at the beginning. I was thinking for the tuned partnership, it will be definitely an advantage to capitalize on that kind of expertise that you have, because you know that some of the things that we're going to be doing, like the MOOC and the series game, will be co-produced and co-designed. So I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about the co-designed and co-produced things that you're doing at your university, and how you think you can use them to bring that expertise to the tuned partnership.
Yes. I think we have a rather long experience for our group, I guess, working with teachers primarily in trying to design learning environments for their students. And I think that this is what I think that we're going to use in the TUNE project as well. So what we try to do is try to find a bridge between, theory. So as researchers, I guess, and educational technology designers, we bring in sometimes the tools, the technologies, and the theories behind them. So we try to scaffold. So we usually work in small groups, and some usually led by one person. So groups of 4 to 5 people. The number may change, but we have had parallel, multiple groups working in parallel with this approach as well. So that's one way of doing it. And then we have, mentors in each of the groups, and then these mentors or facilitators also have other meetings where they kind of coordinate them, or how they coordinate the teams as well. So us as university researchers bring in the theory, bring in the tools, bring in the support and the scaffolding that these people would need to be able to develop a better understanding of what it means to design and co-design. So we don't assume that they know about co-design, they don't know about design, they don't know about theory, and I don't mean to diminish, our collaborators in this respect, but we try to identify which are the strengths that we bring as researchers, which are the strengths that they bring as more practitioners. So usually one of the things that they bring that is really strong is their subject matter expertise and understanding of what they do. In the TUNE project, I would assume that it's the subject matter expertise and the scientific expertise is we're talking about people at the higher education level. But we should not necessarily assume that they have the pedagogical expertise that they need, or they know about tools that they could use to be able to, say, self-regulate their learning and teaching. So I see this as a collaboration between us, and in this collaboration we have to respect the expertise that each partner would bring and try to capitalize on the strengths, and also engage in I'm smiling because I'm going back to the terms that also Sana and her team used, collaborative learning, and see how we can contribute to this puzzle that we're trying to bring together. So this is one of the forms that we have been doing. This usually takes a lot of time for us. So it's an extended process. It's not something that can be done in just a few weeks. We take a lot of time, several meetings, using hybrid methods of collaboration, both online and offline, and also using, virtual spaces to support us, like Google Drive or OneDrive or whatever else. And then once we design something, we pilot it. And usually the teachers who participate in those teams pilot these with their students and collect data. We help again in the collection of the data, and come back, we analyze the data and try to redesign the environment that we initially built together. And on top of that, then we try to do, research and also investigate the questions that are of interest as a group, or as multiple groups. I guess it depends how we're going to approach this topic as a group as well. I have more to say, but I'll stop here and see if you have.
Thank you. What you said is really extremely helpful because, I had in the past experiences of co-design that people think usually that you take a bunch of people, you put them in a room and you ask them to produce an outcome. And that is just, they've co-designed, they've co-produced something, but there is so much more than that. And I'm sure your expertise will be very, very helpful for the things that we're going to be doing with the Tune partnership. So thank you very much for that, Eleni. So we now have a mini break of about 15 minutes. And then we will give the words to the two public organizations that will be part of our project. So I will see you back in about 15 minutes. Perfect.
Okay. Thank you.
Later on today. Okay, are we all back? Maybe just one more minute, just to give the chance for everyone to join us back. I don't know if Essie is there. Or let me see who else got here. I can see most of you.
Can't hear you, Salvo.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, you're not on mute, but can't hear you. Oh, I can.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're all back, so we can just crack on and present our next partner, which is the company Smarted. Who is going to be talking about Smarted today? Is it going to be you, Raffaele?
No, will be Mattia Mighino. That is here.
Oh, Mattia, yes. Hello, Mattia.
Hi, nice to meet you all. I'm Mattia Mighino. I will be presenting Smarted very, very briefly, and our contribute to the project in particular. Do you mind if I start sharing the presentation, or we are waiting for somebody else?
I think you can start sharing your presentation now. Thank you.
All right. All right. Can you see it?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I am Mattia. I'm a newly acquired project manager for Smarted SRL. I've been working on the project since the late 2020, and nowadays I'm following Tunes as well. Smarted is an innovative startup which was created as a spin-off of the scientific laboratory of cognitive science of the University of Naples, Federico II, and it has the goal of developing innovative application in order to support activities and needs of the socio-cognitive people. Our motto, coming from an academic background, it's to develop the product and to insert it directly into the market. So the motto is to make it smart. During the course of the years, Smarted has been working on several products, and during this period of time in the last couple of years, Smarted specialized into two main products. The first one is the tangible user interfaces, which in practice is a user interface in which a person interacts with the digital information through the physical environment. And the purpose of the tangible user interface is to empower the collaboration, learning, and design by giving physical forms to digital information. On the other hand, we have the development of various serious games, which are indeed games that are meant to the training of professionals, and they do not have any mean for entertaining. Those are some projects that are finished and granted. Some others are still ongoing, and as you can see, maybe there are some familiar names in this slide that you could have maybe read about in the project proposal, which are Accord and Docent, which are serious games that are developed by Smarted. And yeah, I would like now to deepen in our contribution to Tuned. Basically, we will start developing the serious game, which will be embedded into the MOOC. So I won't say those would be fully dependent, but the serious game would be an integral part of the MOOC. In the specific, Smarted will be devoted to the project results number 3, if I'm not mistaken. And the steps will be roughly those. The first block, let's say, are the technical specification, in which Smarted, discussing with the other partners, will try to design the integration of the modules based on the previous experience that Smarted had, such like Docent or Accord, which are the past serious game that I showed you. Then we'll design the scenarios for the serious game, which will implement the learning outcomes and the assessments needs specified in the pedagogical framework for cooperative learning in distant teaching. And after that, we will have the implementation of the serious game into the MOOC, and this task will be delivered with the final version of the PR3, which will be then followed by the complete translation of the contents of the serious game. I just wanted to show you how a serious game could be developed based on the previous experience that we had with Accord and Enact, which are two serious games. Accord, it's conflict management. It's a serious game meant for teachers in a school environment to cope with diversity among their students. And Enact, it's another serious game which is oriented towards the conflict management in order to reach an agreement between the two interactants. Okay, next slide. So Basically, I took some pictures from the serious game. This one is not from neither an act nor accord. I'm sorry. This is another one. This is a serious game. It's the Big Five serious game, which is oriented towards the identification of the personality of the people. Here we play as the interviewer, and we have to state the personality of the candidate that is applying for a job. And as you can see, the main aspect of our serious games is to have a dialogical aspect. So there will be the user that will interact with an artificial avatar, which is going to give us answers instead of us asking them questions. Basically, this is the structure of a serious game. We have a scenario introduction and a sentence from the player, from us, the user, which is going to trigger a sentence from the artificial agent. At the end of the scenario, we have the debriefing, which in this case, in the serious games that we developed, is going to give us both an assessment and feedback. Of course, if we want to try to play again, at the end of the game, it will bring us back to the scenario introduction. Otherwise, we can close it and go to the main menu. As I told you, this is the structure which is meant as a guided training and provides both feedback and an assessment. A feedback is generally a comment on how we achieved the principles of the scenario, if we followed them and if we did not reach the goal. Otherwise, it's giving us also an assessment, which is an overall performance of the simulation of the serious game as playing the character and the artificial avatar. Okay, this was very brief. I tried to be very hermetic, let's say, and I hope I was clear enough for everyone.
Thank you, Mattia. That was really, really interesting, and I can see the great potential that a serious game could give to the tuned project. So I'm always personally very much interested in the use of serious games, in this really hyper technological and digitalized world where apps and games govern our life in a way, or at least they mediate our relationship with the world. It's so important to include something like a serious game in a project like this. So thank you very much for that overview of how a serious game also works, because it's not always that clear. Again, if you want to ask Mattia any question, please use the chat. And in the meantime, I just wanted to ask you, Mattia, you presented us some of the examples of serious games that you have developed within the university context, which is another advantage, I believe, for our project. You have that kind of expertise and knowledge of how to develop a serious game for universities. I was wondering, have you got any tips, recommendations for us on how the serious game that we will developing for the tuned project, how it could best work what kind of things we can focus on. For example, I was thinking, it's called serious game, which means that it's not for entertainment only, but it is still a game. So it means that it's got that component of entertainment, which keeps the people engaged in the use of the game. So that could help probably with Tuned in order to support the MOOC. But if you have other ideas that you would like to share with the group, that we will.
Yes. Let's say I didn't mention the fact that those serious games are available on the biggest web learning open platform, which is Italian one, Federica Web Learning. Those are available and freely accessible. And the fact that you mentioned also the fun factor, I think it's basilar in a serious game. Also, the high has to feel the pleasure for the product, and yes, of course. I will quickly. I will send you in a couple of minutes. Okay. So yes. Also, the graphics should match as well the content of the serious game. It's a very important aspect, of course. What I can say is, for the sake of having a very well done serious game, is to tailor it on the contents that we have in the MOOC, choosing a correct scenario. Because if we have a scenario that fits perfectly the MOOC, then we have a very well done product.
Oh, that's great advice. And I'm sure that with the interesting co-design and co-production that all the partners share here, we can really do a great job to design the perfect serious game that can support the MOOC. So yeah, thanks for that kind of advice. It's really good to know and to keep in mind that we need to select the right kind of scenario for the serious game. Thank you, Mattia. So let's move on now to our next partner, which is our Dutch partner. And forgive me if I'm going to pronounce it wrong. It's Vereniging van...
Salvo, you can just say EADTU. That is the
okay.
ADU and or EADTU. Just both works because that is the Dutch legal name, but we don't use it. So
thank you, Alessandro, for coming to my rescue. That saves me a lot of embarrassment. So I was going to introduce...
we know all up, yeah.
Perfect, thank you. So EADTU. And I was going to introduce you, Alessandro, but you can do it yourself, and you can introduce the rest of the partners if they're here, or is it going to be just you today?
It's only me. It's only me.
Okay, perfect. So I'll hand over to you. Thank you.
Okay, I'll try to share screen, but I'm not really a Google person, so I'll try your entire screen. And this should be, okay, because I also have a Mac, that might be a problem. Okay, let me see if it works. Am I sharing something? Or no?
Not yet.
Open system preferences. I have to open system preferences. Sorry, let's see if it works. This is as I said, I don't use that often, so.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. And I found myself that when I use my MacBook, I also get into these kind of troubles.
Yeah,
so,
let me see, because I give permission. Might work now. So let's see. Oh, come on.
Meanwhile that you're trying to sort that out, can I just inquire if there is anyone here that is speaking today on behalf of Alessandro De Bono about the company C2, because I have not received any file from Alessandro. So it's likely to be this one, the last presentation of the morning, which means that whilst we wait for Alessandra to sort things out, we can decide whether we would like to have a longer lunch break, which would last, instead of about half an hour, it could last 45 minutes, or we could still have a half an hour lunch break and probably finish a little bit earlier today. So I'll leave it to the group to decide.
Salvo, I'm gonna send you the presentation.
Please, yes.
Sorry for this, didn't expect at all. In the meanwhile, maybe you could go on whoever can share screen, could you go on the EDTU website? It is eadtu.eu. I could start from there.
Yes, in the meantime, if you can send me the presentation.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
By email, I can share it for you. Meanwhile, the group can let me know what you would like to do today in terms of lunch break. And if you would like to extend it or to keep it as it is and finish a little bit earlier.
Shall I send it to your Gmail, Salvo, or the other?
My Bradford account would be better, please.
And I'll keep an eye on the chat to see what everyone's saying about keeping it as it is or finishing earlier.
Okay, Ellen, you would like to keep it as it is.
That's one person, yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
I honestly prefer to finish earlier if we manage with time, but
yeah, that's absolutely fine. Any views from our Finnish partners, Azusa? Would you like to finish a little bit earlier, or would you like to extend?
Yes, I think 30 minutes is enough
Yeah.
for us too. So
Okay. Raffaele, Mattia, would you like to finish earlier today?
Yeah, it's better. It's better. If it's possible, it's great.
Yes.
That's okay. So yeah, we'll probably keep things as they are. I think half an hour break for lunch would be enough. And I know that we are all very busy, and we also can't wait to get on with the project. So we will finish probably a little bit earlier. Okay, Alessandra, I've just received your file.
good. So nice.
Probably.
Sorry for this, but yeah,
That's absolutely fine. I'll open it for you.
Thank you.
You can tell me when you would like me to move to the next slide.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me see if I can share. Okay. Can you see the file?
It's coming something. Yeah. If you could start the presenting mode, then you can already go. Yeah, you can a second. So my name is indeed Alessandra Antonacci, and my role at EDTU is a program manager. In the second slide, you can see all the team, and you can make it bigger if you can, Salvo.
A little bit bigger?
Like in the presenting mode.
It is in the full screen at the moment. Can you all see it full screen?
I don't, but it's fine.
No, I think she means if you say from beginning at the top.
If I start the presentation from the beginning?
Yeah, I think so that you don't see the panel on the side. Is that what you mean, Alessandra?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I've clicked on that. Can you see it full screen now?
Yeah, we can. Maybe it's just Google Meet.
It was probably a glitch. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alessandra.
I don't know if you change the slide because I still see the first one, but you could move to the second one where you can see the whole team.
Okay, can you all see the second slide with the pictures of the team?
No.
Not yet. We see the list of slides.
Okay, so we have another problem now.
Now it changed.
Let's see, I'll try and share the screen again.
You see, we should not use Google on
Let's see. Can you see the slide, the first one?
Yeah.
Can
yeah,
you see the
we
second
don't.
Yeah, we can see it now.
Can you
Okay.
see the slide as well?
Maybe
Yeah.
you can go to
Okay, I'll
presentation.
try and put it on full screen. Let me know if you can see the first one.
Yeah, we see the first one.
Can you see the second?
No.
No.
That's a problem with the full screen.
Yeah,
So
No, yes.
I'm afraid we will have to keep it,
it
with
is
the
fine.
panel on the left. I'll make the panel as small as possible so you can see.
Okay, that's perfect.
Okay.
So this is the full team. There will be some changes, but probably in this project, I will be working. I will be the person to be contacted. So that is the constant very much. If you could go to the next one, I'll tell you a bit about what EDTU does in principle. So first of all, EDTU means European Association of Distant Teaching University. So we represent the sector of online, open, and flexible education. And we have our members that are mainly, they are all active in this sector of online, open, and flexible education. And you could imagine how with the corona, with COVID, our work really became relevant. The work we are going to do with the TUN also very much. And we have many activities and projects that can be beneficial for this project in terms of dissemination, contribution, and so on. We are very active in the field of lifelong learning, and as Pierpaolo was mentioning this morning, we indeed have a good contact specifically related to lifelong learning with the European Commission. We work, of course, in research and innovation, open education, virtual mobility. So you see the topic over there. We are also very active in mobility, virtual and not. So that could be also something to keep in mind, and support the policy and the strategy development at institutional level, European level, and national, of course. If you go to the next one, you have an overview of our members, how they are geographically distributed. And on our website, if you could just change the slide, Salvo, sorry for this. I don't see yet. Yeah, it is a small screenshot, but you could go on edtu.eu and you have an overview of who are our members. There are different typology of members, but yeah, the constant is indeed that they are related to the Bologna process, they work in online education, and they are European. If you are willing to join EDTU, but you are not an European in a European country, then you will be associate member. So there are all these label. Yeah, next one. There might be a bit of delay. So if you could zoom out a bit. These are the topics we work on, blending and online education. As Pierpaolo was mentioning this morning, we are really active also with the micro-credential, recognition of previous learning, and also this movement. I don't know if you are aware, there was this European policy recommendation about micro-credential, and now each member state is invited to actually make it that operational on a European at a national level. And we have another project called MCE that I coordinate, and it is very much in line with the issue that each university is facing related to credentialing, micro-credential short learning program. So we could definitely bring that on the table too. Next one, please. about an overview, if you go on our website and you scroll down, you go on the last publication, you can have an overview of what we have done in 2021. It's a very nice and picture-based report, so it's easy to read. And again, you can have an overview of what we do. If you go to the next one, more on a Alessandra level, so me, I actually, you could already hear from my accent, I'm Italian. I come from a very small village in the south of Italy, Puglia, like the coordinator, actually, I don't know who is the coordinator. Is the University of Foggia or, yes, right? Yeah?
Is it the University of Foggia?
Okay, because I got confused with the Salvo. Actually, you are a rep in UK, but yeah, I understand.
But I'm based in the UK, yes.
So I am from the same region. Foggia is in Puglia. I'm from Puglia, but from a southern village that is there, Otranto, beautiful but very small. And I had study also serious gaming. I was mentioned gamification. I actually have a PhD in technology enhanced learning, and I did the study massive online open courses. I apply a gamified approach, develop a gamification design process, and actually design all, like despite being a pedagogist, I needed to design gamification. And I did tackle two problem of MOOCs, that is goal achievement using self-regulation, also implementation intention, and I also tackled the engagement to student. And I remember that somebody mentioned collaborative learning, social learning. I did use the theory of a social presence and developing sense of community. So yeah, I can follow that. About our role in the project, if you could change to the next slide, Salvo.
This one?
Yeah, so we are leading the activity 2, quality assurance. So we will come up soon with next slide, because everybody knows what quality assurance is. We will deliver soon the quality plan, where will be defined the tool for actually carry on the quality assurance. And in this quality plan, in the proposal, is required to have a specific reference to the intellectual property right and the contingency plan. And each partner should tell me, and to the coordinator also, who are the two external reviewers that you would involve in the quality assurance. You can see that at page 50 of the proposal. So if you could already start to think about somebody, is already good, because month 3, I think we are already past. Then the other task is about dissemination, and is in the next slide, please, Salvo. See, so in principle, there is here a double leading, I could say. So some part will be taken care by EDTU and the other by Smarted. So Smarted needs to design the materials and the web page, the logo, I suppose, also. So the social identity is on their end. And then there will be newsletters that we will co-design together, because every partner will contribute, of course, to these work package. And it is in charge of DTU also a sustainability plan that will be later in the project. But there in the bottom of the slide, you see summarize by month 2 was do the website and the visual identity also. And then we will come with the dissemination plan as soon as possible. The next slide, please, Salvo. Other task we are co-leading or part of is this co-creation of open educational resources and the definition of certification tool related to micro-credential, definitely possible. And we are in lead of the policies recommendation and guideline definition that are later on in the project. I don't remember. So the other thing we also are in charge of, and it is in the next slide, Salvo, please, are two events. One is the co-creation events that honestly I don't remember when is meant to be. I didn't take a note there. And then the final meeting in 2024 will be in Maastricht, but maybe we can do in Brussels because Maastricht is like a Foggia. It's not that easy to reach. Brussels is more direct. And that was me. I think the next one is just question and thank you. Yeah.
Right. I'll stop sharing the screen because otherwise I won't be able to see you all. Right. But first of all, thank you so much, Alessandro. That was really, really interesting to hear, and also to see all the great things that you can do for the Tuned project in terms of quality assurance and dissemination too. So we will definitely need your expertise on that. Again, use the chat if you want to ask Alessandra any question. And I was just going to ask you in terms of dissemination. As Pierpaolo was saying this morning, it's really, really fundamental that we do make the outcomes and the outputs of this project accessible to as many people as possible, and to expand our collaborations with other universities and other collaborations elsewhere. I just was wondering, based on your knowledge and expertise on this, do you have any tips, recommendations that we can use for the Tuned project to best disseminate?
Yeah. I have already some idea, but it might sound obvious, but it is actually the reality that dissemination cannot be a single partner effort. It has to be an effort for everybody. So I will, together probably with another colleague, bother you a proposed idea, but doesn't mean that from you cannot come. And it was really essential to actually collect all the possible synergies with other projects. I think Eleni was already mentioning some project that is great already, that you are in that mindset, because we need to see what will be also for being more green, if it's possible to combine initiatives in one event, why not? As well as energy, like personal days energy. So definitely my answer is be a team, manage to be a team. So definitely meeting probably would have helped that to develop this sense of community, but we can try now to already start in that direction. So on my personal experience, I will definitely draft the dissemination plan, but more than that, I would like really to have from everybody like a sort of dedicated person for dissemination that can be the one more experienced, the one with more time. Anyone that feels ready is welcome. Of course, can be more than a person, but we really need to put what is written in the dissemination plan on practice and see what works the best for us. So I'm a very informal person, so I'm completely fine to use a multiple platform from, you tell me, even WhatsApp. I would not prefer that, but even. But definitely we have to have we are trying to reach a different target audience, so we need the different channels and tailor messages. Everything I heard this morning has the different layers. So we could have public message, like, because what we do, how people learn, how people, is very interesting for the general public. So can be like some pillar of information, you know, that we just spot on our social media and everybody share it, or if start an initiative from another partner, then there is this boomerang effect. We all share it to create presence. On another level, we could be very strong also on be present on the scientific level. There are heard already at least 5 initiatives that could be completely good publication about the usability, for instance, that come in mind, about the self-regulation. So be more on a psychology level, more on a usability, technology enhanced learning level, or as well as a serious game was my field of expertise. So also on a personal level, I'm really looking forward to write not only blog or dissemination material, but also scientific paper. So on that regard, actually, if you go on this, I'm sorry, yeah, it just came in my mind right now. There is a very close opportunity that is in-house. So it is the conference that we, EDTU, organize every year. This is the link. Sorry, I cannot share it, so I'm just show the link. Will be in the beautiful Athens this year, and the deadline for submit your abstract is the 31st of May. This year, there are multiple chances for everybody to contribute. So you can send an abstract, and your paper can just finish in our proceeding that are nice, but yeah, we know how the academic work works. And then if you are going for the traditional track, you can just present your paper as a presentation or a workshop, and then you have your publication as a proceedings. Otherwise, you could also select the research track. So you have your paper peer reviewed. Of course, everything is peer reviewed, but is more blind peer review. And at the end, you will have a journal publication with the journal. Let me go, because I always confuse the name. Submission deadline.
Alessandra, you can collect this kind of information and share it with the group.
Yes, I can.
For example.
Some of you already know, but I'm just saying right now, because the deadline is the 31st, that is next Tuesday. So if you have something ready, I want to send it, do it, and you can choose which track. And I think for the project per se to be presented there is already very good. I already shared this information with Per Paolo before. And another initiative very important that we are carrying is the European Consortium. We are a founder of that, and the EduOpen, Future Learn, many MOOC platform, European MOOC platform are part of it. So the MOOC we will develop, we for sure have a big visibility thanks to our connection. And we can also share that on our platform. EduOpen is already there. We have this portal that is under construction still, but present all the MOOCs that are relevant for the labor market. And among them, of course, teacher training is relevant. So we could boost the visibility also via design initiative. So there are many things on the table, and we could take forever, but we can start with
definitely a lot of stuff that we can do. And
yeah,
thanks for sharing these things, Alessandro. It's all going to be very, very helpful. And I'm sure we can pick up on some of these things perhaps in the second part of the meeting. Towards the end, we will have an opportunity to talk about things that we can do to implement the project and to make it successful. I would just to remind you, one of the things that you mentioned, I think it could be quite helpful to like search for a platform online where we can all keep in touch and send messages to each other. So these collaboration won't be just about the meetings. It's going to be an ongoing collaboration. And if we have any ideas or things that we want to share with the whole group, we can have the opportunity to do that. So thank you for sharing all these things, Alessandra. It's really, really good stuff. Thanks. Well, thanks to all the partners that have presented this morning. I personally feel I was already very excited about this project before, but now that I've listened to all of you, I feel like it's really something beautiful what we're doing, and the amount of expertise and the different people from all of the world that are contributing to this project, they will bring so much. So thank you to all of you, and this concludes the first part of this meeting today. And as I said, we will have half an hour lunch break, and then we will reconvene after this half an hour, and we will move on to the afternoon session, where we will be talking about what kind of plans we have to put in action for the next 6 months to implement the project. So in the meantime, if you have any comments, you want to put it on the chat, feel free, and we can pick it up when we come back after lunch. Okay, I'll see you all in half an hour then. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you to all.